Welcome everyone to my presentation on equity and bilingual education. My name is Camilo Bonilla. Let's begin with the Passaic Schools mission, vision, and focus. Passaic Public Schools will become one of the best school districts in New Jersey. Our mission is Passaic Public Schools will provide an excellent education that prepares our students for college and to earn high-paying jobs. And our focus, Passaic Public Schools will provide all students the opportunity to graduate high school with a career certification and or a minimum of 15 college credits. The agenda for today will be as follows. We'll begin with the demographics of Passaic High School, a statement of the problem, our focus questions, our proposal objectives along with the relation of the objectives to leadership standards, scope of effort, and lastly, our resources. Passaic High School's current demographic is grades 9 through 12. We have approximately 2,302 students with 175 teachers in the teaching staff, and this includes paraprofessionals. Our current percentage of ELLs as of the 2019-2020 school year is 20%. And as we can see, between the 2019-2020 school year and the 2018-2019 school year, we had about a 25% increase in the number of ELLs. We have 18.1% of classified students, and about 30.6% are considered low income. Our graduation rates are as follows. We are in the high 60s for 4 years, for 4-year graduation, and we're averaging about 75% according to 2019-2020 school year. We also exceed the state dropout trends, 3.4%. The state requires no more than 2%. Now our racial and ethnic groups. The majority of our students, as you can see, 94.2% are Hispanic. So our population of students is mostly Hispanic and African American students. The white and Asian populations have drastically decreased over the past 10 years as our community is becoming more and more Hispanic. Now, the statement of the problem. It was observed that there exists an issue with the academic progress of many of our English language learners, or ELLs as they will be referred from now on, regarding their academic performance, their behavioral issues, their social emotional issues, and the lack of sufficient services. Throughout my investigation for the proposal, I found that there are 3 focus questions that truly need to be either answered, and as the problem persists, a solution be made. For the first one is, what systems are in place that are explicitly made to service struggling ELL students outside of the classroom? Other than school tutoring, what is there for our ELLs? In my investigations, I found nothing that provides of any assistance. Number 2 is, if these programs exist, are the ELL students being properly informed of the existence of these programs? Well, since these programs don't exist, there's no reason to notify them of something that doesn't exist. So this poses an even bigger problem, is that we have a population of students that are struggling and nothing is being done for them. And what measures are the Passaic district taking to ensure that ELL students are receiving equal attention and services when compared to their monolingual counterparts? Here we're thinking at the macro level, district-wide. What policies, other than the minimum required by law, are being created to ensure equity for our ELLs? In my proposal, I marked down 4 objectives that will be achieved by June of 2022. The first is to implement systems of equitable practice both in and out of the classroom to ensure that English language learners get fair opportunity not only at learning, but also at excelling in learning. Since there are limited resources dedicated to our ELLs, the first objective is to create supplemental programs dedicated to serving and assisting ELLs. Tutoring programs, language services, dedicated clubs, etc., already exist for our monolingual students, so it's important that we have these resources available and explicitly made and tailored for our ELL students. Next, we provide English language learners with quality instruction and resources that foster a strong environment of collaboration, dialogue, and group engagement. Our curriculums are created and catered to take students into higher academic brackets, but also focus on monolingual students, not bilingual students. The curriculum is therefore left to the teacher to translate and teach, and the curriculum shows no relationship between the English language learners and their English proficiency. The third is equitable accommodations, such as allowing ELLs to use dictionaries in all courses, extra testing times, provide alternative methods of teaching and learning for SIFE students, access to translated testing materials. Here we have to consider creating accommodations for our ELL students, whether they have exited the ELL program or not. Uh, we will need to continue to assist in helping our students become successful in the classroom. Especially during exams and benchmarks, some students still need assistance in some nuances of the English language. Therefore, a starting point for ELL accommodations would be to have English to Spanish dictionaries. If it's also possible to create SIFE-only classrooms, SIFE stands for Students with Interrupted Formal Education, and these classrooms will exist to assist in students with their severely gapped education. It's important to note that a SIFE student does not have an academic deficiency, simply they are behind in their academic progression. And lastly, to assist in organizing professional development that targets the needs of bilingual students. So, creating professional development training for teachers, whether it be a bilingual teacher, a teacher that teaches in Spanish, or a normal general education teacher, there should be professional development so that when teachers encounter ELL students in their English only classrooms or bilingual classrooms, they are equipped with what is needed to assist those students in struggling times. Scope of effort. With such a difficult task in ensuring that ELL students have equitable access to academics, there is a list of expected activities that will arise. So, monitoring ELL and SIFE student testing data. This will demonstrate whether students are progressing with our new policies or methods to assist them in their classroom. Collaborating with the bilingual mathematics teaching staff to target areas of need for our ELL and SIFE students. As a bilingual math teacher, I noticed that many times other teachers need assistance with students such as SIFE students or bilingual students who have had difficulty in understanding mathematics, be it in English or in Spanish. So collaborating with these teachers and other bilingual mathematics teachers to improve instruction for these students is critical. Collaborate with the administrative team in creating and implementing policy that supports ELLs. Again, creating systems such as allowing them to carry or giving access to classrooms, uh, giving access to English and Spanish dictionaries. That would be critical. Collaborate with the administrative team in creating programs that promote and support the academic success of ELLs and SIFE students. Again, working with the administrative team to find the resources necessary, whether it be through grants or through or district resources to create these systems that will support our ELLs and SIFE students. Inform families of the available resources, law, and policies that support new entrant students. Many times, parents from Hispanic countries enter the school and they're uninformed about policies, what resources are available to them, even if it's immigration help. These things need to be readily available for parents and students. And lastly, to collaborate with curriculum leaders to make necessary modifications to curriculums and to assist ELLs. Again, as previously stated, the curriculums are normally created for the monolingual students and for students to be taken from one academic bracket to the next. There's very little that assists ELL students in improving their English proficiency outside of just the ELL class. Collaborate with assistant principals in monitoring student progress. This year, we have the privilege of having a dedicated bilingual academy, so I will be working with the uh, person in charge of that academy and making sure that our ELLs and SIFE students are progressing. Collaborate with assistant principals and monitor irregular student behavioral issues. Many times, students come with traumas from their countries or the experiences of of coming to the United States. Having systems or resources available to help these students, such as counseling, will be very good help. Collaborate with counselors and assisting ELLs with improving their academic standings. Again, just continuing with the idea of improving students at student progress. And provide teachers and counselors with professional development workshops that cater to the needs of the ELLs and SIFE students. Again, we need training. We need to be informed about what are the resources that these students need. How do you expect to provide the necessary leadership with the activities? My responsibilities as a teacher will still remain, but now I must also add the responsibilities of completing the objectives of my proposal. In working with the administrative staff, I will have to dedicate any available time to attaining these objectives. It's safe to say that my Achilles heel of the research is time. Thanks to the patience and wisdom of the administrative staff, I will be armed with the sufficient information to get started on my proposal and completing my objectives. As quoted here in my presentation, Ms. Torres, my mentor, stated that there is never a perfect or correct solution. There is a clear wrong answer or wrong solution, and that's what you shouldn't do. And also to quote Blankstein, leadership is isolation. Leadership isolation is compounded by the sense that many leaders feel that it is not safe to be themselves, even with their staff. Here are my resources. Thank you.